Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're watching. Welcome to another show of Empower Your Passion. I'm so excited to have another group of ladies from Icon SA, our semi-finalists. And as you can see, they look ready to answer a couple of questions. And once again, guys, it's me doing the solo with these beautiful ladies. Before I start, I just want to say happy spring to everyone. I'm excited that we are now in the season of sunshine, hopefully. So ladies, to start us off, I would like to introduce the one lady that I see on the corner there, and that would be Judith. Judith, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Just introduce yourself to the watchers.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Thank you. And lovely ladies, I'm so glad to be a part of this journey. So as Zeke has said, my name is Kgodiso Judith Rabapane, and I am a businesswoman. A part of, I'd say I'm one of the co-founders of a media company called Purpose Media House, and I head the publishing segment where I actually mentor and publish books. So like I mentor people who come in and say, you know what, I want to write a book, but I don't know where to start. So take you from 0 to 100, where you actually have a full manuscript. Whether you want to publish with us, you can still publish with us. And also I am a PhD candidate at the University of South Africa, and in the field of environmental and industrial biotechnology. So that is taking a whole lot of my time currently. And one of the things that I'm also passionate about is just mentoring young women as well. So I am part of a group called Women of Valor and Purpose, where we sort of like come together and push each other to act. Because I feel like as women, there's a lot of things that we want to talk about. We sit on them, but we don't really act on them. So I'm sort of like just putting a spark to say, let's act, in whatever it is that we want to do. Yeah. Just that's like, just to stick to the time. That's all about me.
Thank you, Judith, for adhering to the time. But I loved how you talked about, the spark that we all need to get us going. I feel like I procrastinate quite a bit. So I loved hearing that there are platforms like that and that you created one of them where it encourages women to actually not just talk, but to do something.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And the fact that you are also a PhD candidate, you're speaking my language. I love academics. So whenever I hear that somebody is going on to the next and they never stop learning, I just get so excited. So thank you again, Judith, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be a part of this journey.
Well, it's going to be quite an interesting one. The next person that I'd love to introduce is Babalwa. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much, Sik. Good morning, everyone. My name is Babalwa Gova. I'm a chartered accountant and I'm a registered auditor and also a farmer, as a side gig. But I come from the Eastern Cape, so I guess, farming is in my genes. So I come from the Eastern Cape, and I think my background is basically the reason why I went into entrepreneurship. Just looking at how the Eastern Cape is so underdeveloped and how there's not much opportunities there. And we don't really have a representation of, professionals and especially young professionals in business. And I wanted really to be that representation for a lot of the young kids in the Eastern Cape and show them that, it doesn't matter what the past is and where you come from, but really the future is what you make of it. So I'm an entrepreneur. I run an auditing firm in Pretoria, and I've been running it since 2015 now. I'm also a training office where I train young aspiring chartered accountants, walk the journey with them of their articles to be chartered accountants. And really it's been one of the most fulfilling things that I'm doing to really give back to others, help others in the journey to become, chartered accountants and to enter the profession. And I think that's why we started Majali Lifelong Learner Fund, where we really go back to the Eastern Cape and help, students that want to be part of the professional that is being chartered accountants, and really help them emotionally, give them support, mentorship, coaching, career guidance, and financial support. So basically, yeah, that's who I am, and that's what I do.
Wow, Babalwa. I mean, I'm very impressed by the fact that you have gone back to the roots, or gone back to your roots rather, in terms of what you're doing for your community. And also just the two fields, how far they are from each other, one being farming and the other one being an accountant. The connection, how did you actually, just out of curiosity, how did you go into accounting and then decide, you know what? I want to go back into farming, or I want to do farming as my side gig, as you called it.
Well, basically, I think it's really because home is in Eastern Cape. So when I go home to Eastern Cape, I'm always surrounded by the fields, the empty fields, and so much potential lying there, and what can be done, to help the community. And really, if I wanted to go back and help the community, I couldn't, start introducing things like fourth industrial revolution in a rural area. You really want to introduce something that they can resonate with, and something that they're actually good at, because I think growing up, most of our food came from the ground, and we were the ones actually farming that food for ourselves. And really taking that to the next level is to say, why don't we come together and become, smallholder commercial farmers, so that we can sell that food, and it can actually sustain the families that grow the food, that have been growing it for themselves. So for me, it was seeing the need to help, but also wanting to help with something that they can relate with. And farming was actually the best thing, because everybody can do it. It's what they grew up with.
Love it. I'm just, because I sit and I see different entrepreneurial journeys. Some are in the media sector, some are in the film sector, whatever the case might be. And yours, I have to say, is the first one that I've come across that has to do with farming. So really, really nice to hear a different entrepreneurial journey. And the last person that we have with us on screen, who's been waiting patiently, is Celiwe. Celiwe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, hi Horace. I hope everyone's fine. Hope you're good. I'm sorry I'm at work, but we've gone. My name is Celiwe Dlamini, and I am the owner and founder of Parade. Parade is a clothing company that I started in 2021 that focuses on making comfortable clothes for women with a big bust. So initially, I've always had
Seems like we've lost you, Celiwe.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So I come from a family that has big breast women, like all of us. There's no exception. So it's been really hard trying to find comfortable clothes, clothes that I actually like, that cater for my situation. So that's how I started Parade, and it was also my love for clothes. I run Parade after hours most of the time, because I'm also a manager at a coffee shop, and I'm currently a second year law student with UNISA. So yeah, it's a lot, but all in all, I'm learning and learning and learning every day.
That's what entrepreneurship is all about, right? You take different facets of your life and you combine them into what you want to make out of it. And honestly, it adds so much value and depth to what you're doing, because you're learning in every aspect of it. So yeah, I love that. So you guys have shared a little bit about your businesses, and I'm very interested in what motivated you firstly to enter Icon SA. So with all this, that part of Icon SA is all about empowering women and showcasing your talents. So I'm very interested in what made you take that step and actually enter Icon SA. Celiwe, if you could just kind of share a little bit with us on that.
One thing that just stood out for me was that Icon was about empowering women. So my brand is literally by women for women. So it just made sense to me, and I honestly believe in women creating platform and communities where we are growing each other, we are celebrating each other, you have someone patting your back and saying, you know what, I've been there, I'm doing it. It gets hard, but it's not impossible, you know. And that's what I saw when I was introduced to Icon by a woman at that, you know. So it was like, okay, you know what, this is what I actually need. I keep on saying that parade is for women, and here comes a woman and tells me about this amazing, amazing competition. But it's not only a competition. Icon is exactly what we need to help each other grow. Judith may know something that I don't know, and she's going to help me. And Icon is really, I don't want to say an incubator, but a platform that is going to help us change each other's lives.
I strongly agree with you. Coming from my own personal journey with Icon SA, I remember being exposed, or having to step outside my little entrepreneurial bubble and meeting other women who were doing amazing things, and just sitting there in awe of, wow, there are all these great women. And I took that as, again, something for me to learn and actually run with. So absolutely right when you say that, you may meet one of the women from Icon SA competition and be like, oh, she has something that I need. Let's network. I see a sisterhood as well. So absolutely correct in the form that that's a way of empowering women. Ladies, the other ones are sitting there so quietly and patiently. Well, you want to enter Icon SA? Babalwa, what did you say? Okay, Judith, please, Judith, go ahead.
So I think for me is like, obviously I went to the website and I just went through it. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? And I saw how it was sort of like just a great platform to showcase women's talent and just to say, get out of the bubble and come out here. Let's see what you have. Let's see what you're doing in your communities. And I remember telling myself, like, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be a part of this journey. Among one of the things that I'm doing, I'm actually an author. I have 3 titles that I've already authored. And one of these titles, I sort of like birthed it in a place where I felt so alone. And I wanted someone to just hold my hand and say, you know what, you are okay. It's okay. At that moment, I was just in this dark space. So what had happened is that when I was 9, I was sort of like introduced in a way to my little brothers, sort of like half brothers. And in that sense, I was sort of like just asking myself, am I not enough? Now, what's going to happen? Because in the Black community, they don't sit you down and say that, you know what, this is what's going to happen. We still love you. It's still okay. We still see you. So I felt like my entire childhood I've just been fighting, to be seen, fighting for the light to flick on my side. And when I wrote this book, I wrote it for also like women who are out there and men who are out there, obviously in general, to say if you're feeling alone and you just need someone to hold your hand, there's always that someone. And I wanted my book to be an answer for that. So I think what motivated me really was just so that I can be an answer as well for someone else. As I said before, a spark, because we all have a flame, but we just need someone to just switch it on and set it ablaze, So what motivated me really was I told myself I deserve to be here because I've got so much to offer, and I really wanted to learn from all these other wonderful women as well.
No imposter syndrome over here. We're all
None.
I love it. My main thing is being take up space and don't worry about anybody else and own it. So I love hearing that coming from you, saying that you deserve to be here. Ladies, you do deserve to be here. I mean, you've made it this far.
Right?
Exactly, about you. So absolutely, yeah. Well, your thoughts on why you entered Icon SA?
Well, actually, I didn't know about Icon SA until I was sitting in a meeting with a sponsor in a program that I was part of, and we ended up, talking a bit about what I do and my journey, who I am, because it was a female that I was speaking to, and she was saying to me, wow, this journey sounds like something that you should, talk about more. Get a lot of people, to hear your story and encourage a lot of people. She told me to enter Icon SA, and I really didn't know what that was. And she's like, "No, I'm gonna write it in the chat box here. You can just go back and look it up." I'm like, okay. So I went to look this up because I'm thinking, what is Icon SA? So I went to look it up, and well, I was shocked, really, what I found, because she didn't really go into detail about what Icon SA is. But she's like, I think you should enter. I really think you should. But when I found that, Icon SA is really about empowering women and celebrating women, that's something that really resonated with me because, there is a lot of Black entrepreneurs, but not a lot of Black female entrepreneurs also. So, a community of Black female entrepreneurs was something that really resonated with me to say that is lacking. And I wanted to really be part of the community so I can learn from other, entrepreneurs because I'm a curious learner, but I think probably it's curiosity also that got me to enter because I was like, okay, I want to see how this works, and I really want to see how much I can learn from this process. So that's why I was inspired to join, and also looking at last year's competition, last year's finalists, and everything. I was really encouraged to really be part of a community that has such powerful women that we can learn from, and really. I think it's the networking that for me is more precious than anything in building new relationships with similar-minded people. Yeah.
The diversity, it's honestly one of the things that I really appreciate about Icon SA. You're meeting women from all walks of life. So I'm so glad that you got to meet a community where you are feeling encouraged and empowered. Now, talking about entering Icon SA for you ladies. And let's say you manage to stretch yourselves into the last final round and they're about to call out the top 3 or the winners. I would love to know for you guys, what would it mean if you were to win the title of Icon SA?
Oh, can I start?
Go ahead, yeah.
I think for me to win Icon SA would be a start of another journey in my entrepreneurial journey. It will mean that I have now the responsibility to carry the Icon spirit forward. It is up to me to reach out to every other businesswoman and tell them about Icon, let them know that there is a platform that they can go and learn and grow and meet as many women as they can. And it means that I'm now responsible for just supporting other people as well, other Black business women, letting them know that, you know what, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to feel like, oh, I need to quit. There are platforms like Icon SA where you get to go out and meet other people, and it doesn't end at the final. It's about me making sure that I check after Judith, I check after Babalwa, I check after Nokolo, I check after Tsepo, just to make sure that it is not another, for example, a seminar that you were motivated to start something, but after that there was no one really came and said, how far are you with the farming? How far are you with this book? So winning Icon for me is going to be just a start of a responsibility that I have to hold. If I can at least hold 5 women, I'll be done. That's my job.
Nice. I honestly, it's not the end. When you win Icon SA, it's not the end. There's more to do, and you really do see a need. So I completely agree with you on that. Judith, your thoughts? What would you do, or what would it mean to you to actually win this?
Wow, I feel like Celiwe is like really covered the ground, like, especially when she talks about the responsibility. I think those are things that we forget about, that we are responsible for those people that are next to us. I always tell myself that I would want people to come next to me and go feeling different, on a high note, so those are some of the things that I think winning Icon SA would like sort of like do for us. I think for me is I've always wanted to, as I mentioned, to spark a light in someone's life. And I think this would be like one of those opportunities where you get to, and you're given a platform to do it, you know. So I grew up in a very small village. It's Lalini, as they say, you know. And at that time, I've always wanted to be a doctor. You know, I'm like, I want to have a DR next to my name and all of that. But I didn't have opportunities that were sort of like, you know, or maybe someone else coming and say, you know what, you can actually do this with your life. You can do this, you can do that. And going back, obviously, into the village, you see that people actually need empowerment. They need someone to spark that light. Even when they teach us at a very young age at home, our mothers, one thing they teach you is how to make a fire. In a literal sense, you have to light up someone else's flame wherever you go. So I think winning Icon SA, which obviously I feel like I've already won being here, it's motivating young girls out there, you know, who are still at the starting of their life, asking themselves, am I doing the right thing? Am I lost? But when they see that there's a Judith from Islali who has actually made it gives them also a chance, you know, to say, I want to do it for myself, for my community. I want to break generational cycles. So I think for me, it's the responsibility as well to want to break generational cycles and just foster change into our communities.
Wow, Judith, thank you. Beautiful. As you're speaking, Zozi just came to my mind, Zozi Bean, and how she's one of those who came from out of, I mean, she's been doing things before she even made it to Miss South Africa and then Miss Universe. So absolutely just thinking of that made me really think, yes, the right way to do it. Babalwa, what would it mean for you?
If I could just steal your thunder there, Dlamini actually comes from my hometown, come from the same rural area. So it's quite inspiring really to see people that come from, you know, the rural areas becoming something in life and really inspiring all of us. And
representation, right? Representation matters.
The representation, that's so correct. And that's why even when I became a chartered accountant, I knew throughout my journey to becoming one that I don't want to be a CA just for myself so I can have the good life, you know, the soft life that everybody wants. But I'm doing this so that I can go back because it's not for me, it's for everyone from where I come from. It's for my community. And that's why I'm so close to the community where I come from, because I know the burden is carried by those, you know, who are given much, because to whom much is given, much is expected. So that's why for me, everything I do, I think of where I come from. And to win Icon SA is also just going to be that next step in making sure that, you know, the representation in the community where I come from is there. And for them to be inspired again to say there is a space for us. In our dreams, they are valid. There's a space and we can achieve whatever we want to achieve, because one of the things we do with the Lifelong Learner Fund is we say, if you can change your mind, you can change your life. And that's one thing that I've always been pushing for in everything that I do, is for someone who has never seen anything green, who's never seen any green pastures, to see that actually there is a Black chartered accountant that runs an audit firm internationally, or to see that actually is a Black lawyer that runs a firm internationally. And that really changes your mindset, and you are actually hungry more to run for the things that you want, to run for the dreams that you want, because you see it's possible. And that, you know, Icon SA is a platform that increases influence in terms of the reach that you have. And you're able to take that responsibility further to say, it's not only now in my small community, but it's basically South Africa.
Babalwa, thank you for that. Really, I feel like for every one of you, it's going to mean something to win that. And thank you so much for sharing that. Ladies, it has come to the end of our program for today. I just want to say thank you for coming out and for sharing every bit of your journey with us, and for letting us in your entrepreneurial journey as well. So thank you so much for allowing us to hear a little bit about you. And also just to say good luck on your next journey, ladies. So thank you so, so much for being here. And I hope to see you on the next part of the journey with the finals coming up.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
Zeke.
Thank you so much, Ziki.
Pleasure, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend. And to everyone
You
else
too.
watching, thank you so much for tuning in and watching another episode of Empower Your Passion. See you next time.